We've had a bit of a problem with COVID denial again. We have been showing a lot of anti-COVID marches and freedom marches and all the rest of it. And it turns out that in our own Houses of Parliament, we have a serpent that is doing more damage to us and on the road to recovery than you could possibly imagine.
Conservative MP Sir Desmond Swayne in November last year speaking to Save Our Rights UK, a group that's advanced false claims about the COVID vaccine and organised anti-lockdown protests. The topic of discussion, the risk posed by the virus to the NHS.
But it seems to be a manageable risk, particularly given the way that figures appear to have been manipulated. We are told that there is a deadly pandemic proceeding at the moment. That is difficult to reconcile with...
There is no evidence of figures being manipulated, and at the time of this interview, deaths were 14% above the 5-year average, according to the ONS. January the 15th this year, and Sir Desmond is giving another interview.
It is my absolute honour and pleasure to be inviting Sir Desmond Swayne to the high wire right now.
This time it's to Del Bigtree, leader of an anti-vaccination group and former producer for disgraced anti-vax medic Andrew Wakefield, where he's asked about the UK's latest lockdown.
Is there some other desire to control the people that has nothing to do with health? Where are you at with that?
There are aspects of this which I'm certain come down to social control, like the wearing of masks, isn't it? The medical case, you've just rubbished it.
Several studies have shown face masks can reduce the transmission of viruses.
Hello.
Hello, Sir Desmond.
Yeah.
Hello, hi, it's Rob Powell here, calling from Sky News. I'm a political correspondent. Sir Desmond Swayne wasn't available for an on-camera interview, but agreed to this phone call being recorded. On Del Bigtree, did you know who he was before you gave the interview?
I've never heard of Del Bigtree.
So he was someone that's anti-vaccine and has said that the COVID vaccine could be the greatest scientific blunder in the history of mankind.
I state, having a conversation with someone is not in any way associating yourself with his point of view.
You're lending the credibility of a member of parliament to some groups which have views which are not backed up by any scientific evidence.
Well, the point is this: we're a democracy. We believe in free speech and free expression.
But those who track anti-vax content online say Sir Desmond's comments will cost lives.
People, of course, have been confused by a new pathogen, a new disease which has emerged. It's caused a lot of concern. And to see a member of parliament feeding off that concern, feeding the beast, so to speak, is incredibly cynical, incredibly damaging, and will cost lives.
Sir Desmond Swayne.
The former minister in the Commons today, where a valid debate will continue about easing restrictions. But at such a perilous moment in the pandemic, many will question where and how this Tory MP has chosen to have this discussion. Rob Powell, Sky News in Westminster.
Quite amazing, quite amazing. And this type of, we vote for these people. We vote for these people.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Well, many people do, don't they?
I don't vote for him.
No, but you're supposed to trust your government. You're supposed to trust your MP, your councillor. And it leads down this road, this rabbit hole where we talked before about a new news service starting.
Well, if he was in America, he'd be part of QAnon.
Yeah,
he'd be selling stories of underground pizza parlours that have got little rooms with kids that are held prisoner for paedophiles that are all part of the Democratic Party.
Which is the thing, the whole conspiracy world, they always jump on these things. Well,
they always end up at paedophiles. Don't they? Do you not remember here?
Israel.
It
carries on. There's certain things. It's always the same. Always the same. We don't trust this. We don't trust that. And it comes to a point is when will we be able to know who's telling the truth? When we'll have a news service or a media outlet which is just telling. When will when can you trust an MP again?
Well, the problem is you can trust certain people. You've got to. It's part of
who do you trust?
It's part of the process.
Like who?
It's part of the process.
Like who do you trust now?
There's plenty of people.
Do you trust the BBC News?
Yeah, I do.
You do. You still do.
Yeah,
Even though
comparatively, yeah. It's all comparative. You go online and you see stuff on Twitter, you see stuff on Facebook. You can't believe it. You can't believe it at all unless it's come from a source that you trust. You've got to decide yourself who you trust.
The head of our government, the head of the UK, Boris said there'll be frictionless trade between us and Europe.
Yeah.
And he said that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Frictionless. Be fine.
Yeah, absolutely he did.
Do we trust him again?
Well, I never trusted him to begin with.
There's a few messages that came through. One of them's from Eddie over in Ireland. He's saying about you cannot. I mean, I don't know where Northern Ireland lies really. Is it part of the EU or is it part of the UK? It's a weird situation. But if you should send a plant to someone in Northern Ireland, it won't be admitted from the UK because they won't allow the soil to come in the country.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to what happens in Australia. Anyone who's watching all these border shows where they're very careful about people contaminating their ecosystem.
But we were supposed to be going to doing a deal where our standards are at such a level that it doesn't matter.
No,
probably higher than the EU.
That was bullshit, and everybody knew it. Everybody on the right side of the equation knew what was going on with Brexit. They knew the whole thing. The only people, a load of racists voted for it and brought it in and managed to get it over the finish line because there were just enough gullible people that believed that maybe it was better being off away from Europe and that you could get the empire back and do all the rest of it. It's just the way it is.
It's amazing. I think about that as well. They were so concerned about our borders, about not letting anyone in.
Yeah.
Well, they're so concerned about that. No foreigners coming in. They opened them up when the COVID happened.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Fly in anywhere you want. Just fly into this country.
There you
fly
go.
into this country.
That's
no
the
problem.
thing, isn't it?
And the other
That's
day,
the
it was
problem.
quite amazing. I watched about how Brazil has been blocked. So I thought, it's blocked. So therefore, Southern America and be okay. On news, at the airport, where did you just come from? Oh, Brazil. The following day, it's not blocked at all. No. What's going on? I mean, who do you trust anymore? Who do you trust?
Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button to do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.